Johnny knows I just had $4,500.
Don't say anything about Cap Joe. He's listening. Just saying.
Oh, gosh.
Hey. Sorry.
Hey to you too.
Mark,
Hey,
you look live yet?
I'm talking to the kids.
We all live.
I think we are live. Okay. Are you guys ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And welcome into Drone Nation for June 30th, 2025. The title of this show is The Future of DJI in the U.S. Topic we kind of can't get off of here, but I just have a couple updates before we get into the show here. We want to send out thoughts and prayers for Captain Joe America and Captain Ray Kelly. Now, Captain Ray Kelly, he came over from the hospital this weekend. He's at home now. He's out of pain. He's rested comfortably. Ray is A-OK now. I think he's on a strict low-fat diet now and some medication, but Ray's doing real good. I just talked to Captain Joe a few minutes ago. I think Johnny saw him in the hospital, and he said he had a skin graft today. Supposedly everything went well, whatever. He's back in his room, rested comfortably. They got him on some couple pain medications, so he's not feeling any pain right now. And if everything goes well, he could possibly come home Thursday, or if not, maybe Monday if he can't make it home for the holiday. Now, Johnny, you got to visit Captain Joe up there. What hospital is he in, Johnny?
He is in Lakeview Regional Medical Center right there in Covington. My daughter actually worked there for a couple years in labor and delivery. But yeah, Joe's doing good. Talked to him. He called me around noon, I think, and I think they took him in at about 6:30 this morning. And yeah, he said he remembers they tell him they're gonna put him to sleep, and next thing you know, it's being rolled back into the room. So you know who that is. So yeah, been there, yeah. But no, he's doing good. He got a little ways to go, but hey, he's doing good, and his spirits are high, and yeah, so he's doing great.
Hopefully, he's back flying pretty soon, Johnny.
I hope so. Yeah, I need a flying buddy down there. Yeah.
And maybe you guys could go to the tugboat and get his VA2 out of there.
Well, you know, my brother-in-law actually went out there, got off his boat, and got on the tugboat, but he couldn't reach the drone. He saw it. He needed like a stick or something, and he's supposed to go back out there. So hoping he can grab that drone for Joe. If not, we'll have to get out there and grab it.
Wow.
He was skinned alive, he said, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that update, Johnny. Now, we have a first time we ever had John Gregory and Josh help me with your last name. I'm saying Prymak. Yeah, I got it as close as I can get it with my Pennsylvania accent. And I've got the joke because Josh from PA too. But first time on the show, glad to have you guys on. I got to meet both of you at the South Florida Drone Meetup this year. It's a pleasure hanging out, spending time with both of you down there. And the big news tonight is you guys have started your own drone show on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you've taken the old slot that used to belong to Scott France, Jackrabbit FPV. Is that correct?
Yes, it absolutely is.
And your show is mostly drone focused, or
it's somewhat drone. We're going to do drone and tech items. So, being that I also have a background in photos and whatnot, we're going to also enter in on that too a little bit. So we're going to keep it a little bit more open in that sense, and not just keep it strictly to drones only.
Well, that's smart with what's going on right now on drones. It's a smart idea, not to too specialized. But that sounds like the kind of show that's right up my alley because I'm same thing. I'd be real interested in photography stuff, unrelated to drones also. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Josh has got a really good history with photography. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time, and he can get more technical in photography than anybody that I know right off the top of his head. I mean, his settings and everything else. Yeah, it's really impressive, some of the work that he does. And matter of fact, he taught himself how to do the intro for the drone show that we just did, and he did a fantastic job. So when it comes to tech, he's all over it. He does a great job.
We all saw Josh walking around with his big Nikon 850 old school looking camera.
That's right. I like the current text as well, but that particular camera is just amazing. It does everything right. So, and being able to shoot 23 to 2400 shots without changing the battery out is awesome. So,
and Josh develops those big biceps by carrying that thing around too. So that's like another positive.
No kidding, because the other Saturday night I was out and I forgot my camera strap at home. So I handheld that thing for 6.5 hours without anywhere to put it down.
You didn't have to go to the gym and hit the weights that week. That's for sure.
Definitely didn't have to. No.
Hey, on a little side note here, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. Josh, did you get some nice shots down in Ocean City, Maryland? I say that because he went to Ocean City, Maryland a couple weeks ago, and I'm from Pennsylvania also. And even though I live to Jersey Shore now, as a young person, even teenager, we hung out at Ocean City, Maryland. So I know that town well. I mean, every once in a while I still go down there, all season and visit. But if you've never been to Ocean City, Maryland, and you happen to be there, drop in sometime in season, of course, or whatever. Actually, even all season is pretty good too. But give us a little overview of how that went.
Well, I left the rainy state of Pennsylvania to go to one of the rare times in Maryland where it rained pretty much every day I was there. There was so much fog. I had an oceanfront view. I couldn't even see it. I couldn't see the ocean till my last day I was there. And even at that, it was about 2 p.m. until the fog finally moved out that I could actually see it. But my first 3 days I was there, it was rainy, foggy, and a high of maybe 68 at max. The day I left, it was 86 degrees, sunny, blue sky. Had an awesome time there.
Yeah.
So
it was a tough week. It was bad too. But tell people that Ocean City, even when it's not a good beach day, they have one of the world's greatest boardwalks.
Absolutely, and it's 27 blocks long, and there's so many shops. There's so many great places to eat. There's activities the whole way down through. My daughter and I walked up and down the entire length of that 2 times, and there's just an endless amount there to actually do. There's I'm trying to think of the name of the amusement park at the end of it, but I mean, there's rides and games.
The big Ferris wheel is, yeah.
There's 3 of them there now, Ron. So
okay,
that changed up things, because at night I'm used to just seeing the one there, and now there's 2 of them at that same end.
Oh, wow!
So it's actually neat to see that at night.
Yeah, and I'll get us back on drones here a little bit, Josh. Right past that amusement park, of course, is that little canal, and the other side of that canal is like Assateague Island or whatever, and halfway through that canal, you hit the no-fly zone. Most of Ocean City and the boardwalk is Class G, but halfway over that canal, it turns into not Class G or whatever. I mean, in a split second. So,
yeah, I unfortunately was unable to fly there. The fog was just so bad that I don't think I would have been able to anyway. So
you got to go back sometime and get the Ferris wheel at night. It was beautiful lit up.
Absolutely, it is.
Was it morning time, Josh?
This was all day long. There was so much fog there all day long.
Let me help DeMarco here. The Midwestern.
Sorry.
Man here. At this time of year at the ocean's still real cold, right? The ocean's still maybe like 60 degrees, but the air is real warm. The air could be like 89 degrees, and when those 2 fronts meet, they cause all that fog and haze
all day.
whatever. Because Well, so if until that, the air temperature goes down a little bit, then some of that can go away. But as long as hot air meets cool air, you're going to have those conditions. Now we've got to the point where the ocean's warmed up a little, so now it's not really doing it anymore. But that week it still was.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but off Ocean City, let's go to John. John, you're from CT. Probably say you're from Connecticut, and we got to meet you at the meetup, and you've been a frequent guest on Ray Kelly's show over the years. How did you get into drones, John?
Oh, wow. I started out way back in the Phantom days, back in 2016. And I got hooked on the Phantom and played around with that for quite a while, and been going ever since. It's been adventurous, that's for sure. No doubt about it. My the first drone I was into was the Phantom 4, if I'm not mistaken, that I actually crashed. I splashed it down when I was flying around taking some pictures of my boat back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And my wife actually dove off the back of the boat to get the drone out of the water while it was coming down.
Yeah, that's a good wife.
Yeah,
she's fantastic. She really is. She comes swimming back like it was a dog with a bone. I said, "Thanks, honey." Of course, I took the drone out of her hands and I put it up on the deck, and I forgot to help her up because I was too worried about the drone. But yeah, so it's been adventurous. It really has.
Now, John, are you mostly a hobbyist, or you do some commercial work?
I do all hobby stuff now. I've been working on my 107. I work full time still, so I don't have enough time to put towards the studying and everything.
Right.
And yeah, it's been. I wound up the last drone I just picked up because I plan on and looking to retirement. I got the DJ 4T. So I can get into do some 107 work here and there, and mess around with it. Not want to get them crazy, but be nice to have some extra income when I'm retired.
Hey, John, I tell people all the time, don't overthink that part 107. It ain't that tough. Just study. Of course, you have to study. If you don't study, you won't pass it. But people kind of make it out to be it's a big hard thing. And yeah, if you go through all that study material, you'll breeze right through it.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, it's not like passing the bar exam or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you hear the reason I say that is you hear people all the time talk about, oh my God, it's not that big a deal.
Starting is the hardest part, I guess.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? A lot of us are older, so our study habits weren't what they were when we were in 20s and whatever, and in college.
We all can't be DeMarco.
Yeah. No. I am.
Our Florida State graduate here. He graduated Florida State with honors.
With honors, yeah. I think you were valedictorian or something, weren't you?
No.
Congratulations.
No. Came in second, actually.
Valedictorian.
It does sound impressive to say. It does sound impressive if you graduated from Florida State, though. That does sound good, DeMarco. I like that.
I like Captain Joe's statement right there. Yeah.
Hey, Captain Joe.
He said if I passed, anybody could pass. So.
Right.
So let's get back to the show tonight. So this is the first show. How did it go? I mean, we talked a little bit before the show. Every first show is going to be a couple hiccups or something like that. Any good stories tonight?
Yeah, we were using Restream because it seemed a little bit easier for us. Well, I take that back. It seemed like it was going to be a little bit easier. We wound up doing the intro, and the intro went out there on a different channel than what we were looking to do. And we were sitting there with our guest Scott, and in the background, it's like, okay, how do we combine the two of them? So I got to a point where we just had a couple of glitches, but it came out, and ultimately it came out. So we're working through some bugs, but it's pretty intuitive once you get going with it.
Yeah, and I mean, after we did get through the intro part where it didn't quite fire off right, everything after that actually went well. So, I have a good feeling that next week's show is going to run a lot smoother, providing everything else works as it should. Yes, correct. And I mean, prior to that, we'd only tested it live one other time. So
yeah, it worked out. It's pretty intuitive. It works pretty good. As soon as we went live, all of a sudden it went from losing the stream to going to the intro to back to the stream. So we're kind of back and forth with that, but it seems like it's going to work out okay once we get a little bit better grip on it.
Well, I'm looking forward to I need to make a point of it and put it on my calendar, but I really want to see your show. So
yeah, I want to try to get the one real soon too. And everybody out in the chat, please go over and support these guys. Sorry, I don't have a link. I don't know if I have a link here or anything, but please drop the link in the DroneNation Facebook group next week so the folks can grab that link and pop. And when I see it in there, send it to me too, and I'll make sure that I put it, feature it to the top of the the list that day.
Yeah, post on all of it. I saw it start, but then I couldn't find it again. So that's what I thought was kind of
okay. You got
posted on the live one page. Yeah.
And you guys, John, you said Scott. You mean Scott France was a guest?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great.
Hey, Johnny's a pretty good guest. Even though he has that thing that's flipping you off in the middle of his chin, he's a really good guest.
Yeah, but Johnny's not a cheap guest, so you got to pay him more than.
Oh yeah, he gets top dollar. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I get a 1099 too from.
So if anybody,
y'all do fun. Y'all do fine. It's fun, and of course, Ron and Marcus have been doing it for, I guess, 7-8 years now. Cat Ray and I have been doing it for over 6. So yeah, it's fun. It's challenging sometimes, but hey, it's a lot of rewards and a lot of great friends out there in the community.
So. There you go.
Right.
And Bill Thompson in the chat here, he's been doing a couple years longer than we have.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You guys, and I was going to say, Josh, I think I cut you off, but just want to say, guys, I've been watching you guys for years, and I appreciate everything you do, and just to be on your show, it's quite an honor to put it basically. It's just
it's been too long. We should have had you on. We should have both of you on a while ago. I just get lazy. It's easy just to invite the same old people in all the time or whatever. But so I'm honored that I'm glad that got a chance to know a little bit. Both of you in Florida, and and it's great you're doing your own show now. Support all the shows.
Sarah and I got to go out to dinner with Josh one night.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That was one of the highlights because, being a fan of the show, being a fan of everything that you guys do, and it was like getting to spend that time to actually meet all of you guys and hang out, and then having dinner and sitting right across it from this drone superstar.
Yes.
I didn't know what to actually say or do half the time. I was sweating just sitting there thinking, man.
You acted relaxed, so I don't. Anyway, it was fun.
The only bone I had to pick with Josh in Florida was he never let me see his DJI flip drone. He hid it from me.
Yes. I intentionally. I was like, you know what? There's Ron. Pack that thing up. Throw it in my car. No,
Marcus is gonna get his out now, but he wouldn't bring it to Florida for me to see it.
Because I was on that cruise. I actually flew this guy yesterday, Ron. Yep. I had an e-bike. I had to make a video on, and I had this thing chase me around. It's phenomenal. I mean, it tracks like you don't even have to think about it. It's just back there doing its thing. Pretty cool.
The aspect of it I love too is you could take it anywhere you want to go almost.
Yeah.
It's so easy. You just drag it out, open it up, fire it up and go. There's no, I need to set up a landing pad. I need to this or that. Yep. You can hand action launch it. You can grab it out of the air. It's great.
Okay. You're going to laugh, but when I first started flying it, I'm so used to DJI drones and, holding your hand flat if you're going to do a hand launch. But this thing, that's tough. But if you read the flipping instruction manual, like I should have, they actually tell you in the instruction manual to pinch the body of the drone and let it take off like that. Yeah. And now when you land it, hold your hand flat. But anyway,
They got instruction manuals for drone. Hey, I picked up a new drone today. Look, got the little mini 4K. Yeah.
You got it, huh? You got it, Johnny?
Yeah.
Very nice drone.
Yeah. They had them on sale at Amazon, and I figured while we can get them, hey, you better grab one. So,
did you use the DroneNation link?
I did. Yeah. You should get a big check from this.
Yeah, to get our big check coming in. And Marcus, I saw you with the flip in your video where you did the dolly zoom, and you caught it and you used the alligator, thing to catch it.
Okay, so that I learned that the hard way with this drone. I mean, okay, I'm sure if you've got better depth perception than I do, you can just land it flat in your hand. But inevitably, I would always end up on the tip of my fingers, and it would want to fall over backwards. So what I got in the habit of doing is letting it coming down, and I clamp with the other hand. Now I don't drop it.
I actually do almost the opposite. I get it down right about here, and I just reach over, grab it on the top, and then I have a nice solid hold of it. Super easy to do.
Yeah. No, I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm going to get into some more serious subjects here. We got Johnny in the show just because we like Johnny, but also he's going to be kind of take over in this story here. Louisiana. Johnny's familiar with Louisiana, has a new drone bill that will allow law enforcement to take down drones. Governor Landry signs the bill to allow law enforcement to neutralize threatening drones.
Yep.
Thanks, Governor Jeff Landry and Republican Jeff Galle for
Galle. Jay Galle.
Yeah. And just reading a line or two. This is from the Louisiana First newsletter. Law enforcement at the state and local level will now be able to neutralize drones in Louisiana. This is made possible by Governor blah. We will act into the We Will Act law.
I have it up there, Ron, if you want to just put it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, Johnny, I'm gonna let you take over. I'm gonna start yakking from now. What have you learned about this new law in Louisiana?
Well, I have a friend. My neighbor is actually a representative, so I called Nicky. His name is Nicky Muscarello, and so I called Nicky, and I was asking him about this bill, and kind of maybe hinting to him that he doesn't know a lot about drones, and maybe invite him to the show. And he said, "Well, I'll do you one better. I'll get the guy Jay who wrote this to give you a call," and he did. About that, it was Friday night about 7:30, and I had a great conversation with him. Jay was actually a weather guy. He was a meteorologist on Channel 6 for 8 years, and he went into politics. He's from New Orleans, lives in Mandeville now, where Captain Joe lives. And through the course of our conversation, the biggest thing that I picked up from him was that he, 3 or 4 times, and probably talking to him in 30 minutes, he kept saying, "Johnny, I can't believe that you guys are not worried about, he really didn't know specifically about DJI, just worried about drones and general, looking at our coastline, looking at our nuclear plants and all of this. And of course, I said, well, hey, the very phone we're talking on, the router at your house. And we had a great conversation. I invited him to meet him one day, and we'll fly and show him the drones. But, I think that they're so, I don't know if they're misinformed, and I'm sure that somebody, somebody helped them write this bill, of course, and maybe some higher ups and even in Washington and stuff. But it's called a We Will Act, and it says they can take it down through numerous ways, So, but yeah, it's interesting that I think the misconception. Of course, he mentioned, of course, what's happening in the war and stuff with that, how they're using drones. So it's a whole nother thinking about how drones, not the good side of drones, it's only really the bad side. But great guy, very, very, very nice. I mean, we talked for probably 30 minutes, and so I got some insight on kind of how they think about it.
Johnny, in the article they mentioned they able to use non-kinetic and kinetic technologies against unmanned aircraft. What do you know what that term means? Kinetic?
I really don't. I mean, Marcus, what?
So kinetic would be using something that's going to physically hit the drone, right? Yeah.
And it says physically grab it or physically, and then
whether that would be a net or whether that would be a shotgun, right? but and then non-kinetic is going to be electronic, right?
Jamming it or something. Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah.
And that's what I ask him. I mean, he, like, okay, if it's flying over a parade and it states in there further down, you can, anything that has a legal permit, they consider a parade, whether it be a school function or Mardi Gras parade or some kind of championship, stuff like when they have one. Of course, we don't have to worry about the Saints winning too often, but anyway, stuff like that. But so it's definitely it's out there. But yeah, and so I asked him. I said, well, if you got 3 drones up, how would the police know which one is going to cause a problem or may cause a problem? So I don't know. It's a bill.
Johnny, that was my question. So you go get your operations over people waiver from the FAA.
Right.
And you've got your drone all set up. Let's say it's even in controlled airspace. Sure. So you get your Lance set up. You're all 100% legal. You're flying above that crowd, getting some good video. How does that cop that's going to use kinetic energy or whatever he's going to use, how does he know whether you're legal or not legal?
Yeah. And how do they even know? Like, I mean, how do the police officers how do they get that down to them to even have the knowledge of? So I don't know. It's got a lot of, I say, I did talk to Vic Moss about it. Of course, they're, Vic, I mean, what we think about it, and legally it's not legal, although it's a law, and it actually takes August 1st. So yeah.
Yeah, the governor signed it. The governor signed the bill, right? Governor Landry signed it.
He did sign it. Yep.
The point of it is, it would not pass a court challenge because of preeminence. The FAA has control over the airspace, the federal, and then it goes down from there. But that doesn't mean, like you said, Johnny, they could pass the law. You're out there flying your drone and you're all legal and they bust you for it. What are you going to do? You're going to go out and hire a high-powered lawyer to fight it?
Yeah, and I think the 2 biggest words in fighting the drone community right now is critical infrastructure. He used that term a couple times in a conversation, and I mean not in a, but what's next? A street lamp, a stop sign, a parking lot. So it's getting.
Johnny, I'm all for critical infrastructure. There's places that I don't think drones should be flying over.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We shouldn't be messed around by electric substations and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the FAA then needs to put them on the sectional chart as a no-fly zone. Now, you're almost going to have wording because, right, you got an aircraft up at 30,000 feet. That doesn't mean that he can't fly over the top of something like that going from point A to point B. So that would have to be addressed. But it need that kind of thing. I totally get it. There's places you don't want people flying. You got to do it through the FAA.
Yeah, and I see Bob Casey.
Johnny mentioned earlier that the representative said about the nuclear plant. Well, you tell them the nuclear plant's already restricted airspace. The drone's not going to be flying close to there.
Yeah, and they want to make a TFR basically over a parade, or but I mean, so a TFR we think of it only as drones, but that would mean a plane couldn't fly over that.
That's right.
So I mean, and I see Bob Casey wrote Google Earth, and I told him that I said you can go to Google Earth and see the coastline of Louisiana, you can see the coastline of Florida, you can see everything. They got a lot better pictures than I got on my crappy drone that I shoot, as far as so I mean the information's out there.
Hey, I mean we've said this before. I've said this before, but it's not illegal for someone from China to come here and take pictures.
Absolutely.
It's not
right.
So I mean, if they want to hide something like that, you just can't. We live in a free country.
They may have to do it with a Holy Stone drone though pretty soon.
Yeah, really. Meaning this, I'm trying to say, if they want to hide something,
right,
hide it.
Absolutely.
Build something over it, hide it from us. Like you can't. I mean, it's just a waste of time.
So DeMarco's right. If you went, if you went to a nuclear power station and you stood outside the fence or whatever, you could take all the cell phone pictures you wanted, correct?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck, you could put them on a 30-foot selfie pole and take pictures, right?
Yeah, on a pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got one state to do it, and then another state to do it, and another state to do it, and pretty soon it'll be like Marcus said. I mean, who's going to fight it eventually, or what's going to happen,
There's localities that have. Well, I'll just give you one county over from me. All of their county parks, they say that you cannot fly a drone over their county parks lower than 500 feet. Well, we all know 400 foot is the limit. Right. Anyway, however, but what Canyon County doesn't understand is they don't control the airspace. The FAA does. Yeah. Now, if I go and I fly over one of those parks and I get a big ticket and they confiscate my drone, what am I going to do? Am I going to go hire a freaking high-powered, spend $10,000 on an attorney to get? So the point of it is those kind of laws, even though they're illegal, they work. Because you're not gonna take the chance on, getting in. I want to be legal. I don't want to get in trouble with the law. So anyway, it's a frustrating scenario, and I would like to see a way to address that.
Well, it's happening, and seems like every week or every month, and I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. I know, Marcus, you and I talk all the time, and I probably a year and a half ago, we probably thought 3 months later this would go away, and 3 more months after that it would go away. But now it's I don't know if it's going to go away.
Oh no, what is? I mean, this is crazy though. But what they are doing is making drones like the boogeyman.
Yep.
Everybody's going to be a drone, yep. And nothing's going on.
It's
true. Only going to take 1 or 2 times for something to be shot down, maybe on accident, and then people will be fearful of it. And Johnny, like, you got to worry now. You got to worry. Hey, there's a drone up there. Oh, that's Johnny.
Okay. Well, they do have stipulations in there, of course, to film movies and, of course, do all this stuff that makes money or that would bring money in. But so yeah,
Just make sure you're flying your Skydio.
Yeah.
I like what everybody says. So common sense rules today. Look at this comment. Common sense rules today. If you're in a situation like that, communicate with the people that are running an event or whatever. I think is always a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can do that, but sometimes you may be flying a situation where you don't even see any police to talk to let them know that you're going to be flying here or there.
Happened to me at the Juneau Pier, Ron.
Right.
Really?
Mark, they said Marcus got that landing pad out and threw it down in the sand, and the park ranger came right on up, kicked us out.
Yeah. No, the guy was really nice. I don't want to make it sound like it was.
Well, that's what Captain Joe. He kind of when he goes shoot a parade or something, sometimes he'll just go ahead and tell the police, "Hey, I'm gonna be flying my drone right over here," and kind of lets them know in the first place, before they even. Yeah, so and most of the time they stand by them and watch them. So I think they're making, and I mean, I guess they're making a big case out of something that's really not there. But they're bringing it to the forefront, like DeMarco said. I mean, the more you hear on the news, I mean, I didn't really know about this bill till really I saw it. So,
well, Johnny, here's the key question. I think has an incident happened in Louisiana as far as a drone causing problems that caused these rules to happen? What prompted these politicians of all?
I don't know.
Sure
and
that's a whole bunch of problems. Yeah, what prompted them to put all the real problems aside and focus on taking down drones? What caused that?
You know what happened, Ron.
It was Captain Joe. It was Captain Joe flying in that tugboat. That's caused the problem.
No, to my knowledge, no, nothing's ever happened. I've seen. I told Marcus this other night. We have a Mardi Gras parade here, and one of my friends, he texted me that night. Well, called me. He said, "Hey, are you flying your drone? Over the parade in downtown?" I said, "No, I'm at home. But anyway, somebody was, and they might have been off to the side. He could have been over the building, but anyway, to him. He was just asking me because people know that I fly. But so yeah, it happens. But hey, I don't know. It's crazy, and I don't know where it came from. Did it? Is it something that they brought up? And of course, there was 10 or 15 people that co-authored that bill when you get into it. But Jay actually presented it, and it passed. Would have everybody voted for it, for it to pass. So not one person voted against it. So, including my friend that I called. But I mean, so.
Jeannie Costello said that her court date had her court date today about the guy who shot her drone. Hopefully,
I knew it was coming up.
Turned out all right.
The interesting thing about that case is she didn't really want to press charges or anything, but the police kind of said, "No, yeah, you're gonna press charges." Yeah,
but I don't think they ever arrested the guy.
I don't know.
I don't think they ever done anything. Yeah.
Okay, one more bad drone news story here. Florida Senator Rick Scott. This isn't Rick Scott's first dance with drone regulations. Introduces Drones for America Act. It sounds good, doesn't it? Drones for America to ban Chinese-made drones and components and support U.S. drone manufacturing. And this is good here now. He announced today the introduction of Drones America Act to build on his efforts to ban Chinese drones and components in the United States. They pose a severe national security risk, and he wants to strengthen American production. This legislation will implement a ban on Chinese manufactured drone systems beginning January 1st, 2028. So basically 2 years from the first year, and Chinese manufactured components by January 1st, 2031. So that's like 5 years away, and implement a gradually increasing tariff on these items until full bans are in effect to phase out the market. Tariff revenue will fund a grant program established by Drones for America Act to support procurement and development of U.S. manufactured drones and components for first responders, law enforcement, farmers, ranchers, and others. And
others means hobbyists.
Yeah.
He never says hobbyists here, but it must be others. Yeah. And it's part of FY24 NDAA and bill. Is that for? I don't know what all that means. I thought that meant the name of the bill. But by successfully fighting the inclusion of provisions of his countering, so he put the countering CCP Drones Act or whatever. So this guy is full of drone bill. Now, how does this bill interplay with the other bill that we're worried about now, where it calls for drone inspections by December? Is it something entirely different, or is this
completely separate?
Yeah, two separate.
How many anti-drone bills are they allowed to have at once?
There's a ton of them out there.
Hey, I'm sure that fund right there would go to the same fund that the school's money was supposed to go to from the lottery.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But and of course, Rick is the one I think that Rick Scott that got all the DJI drones Chinese drones banned in Florida, where all the Florida law enforcement first they had to turn their DJI drones in. And at the meetup, we saw the police from Bargate, Florida. They were all flying Skydio drones because they had their DJI drones taken away from them. Well, I meant too dramatic there. They had to turn them in, but they were flying Skydio drones. And they did a little, presentation for us. But I don't want to speak for the guys because they didn't tell me this. But some people said they asked them, and they said they weren't as good as their DJI drones that got taken away.
Yeah.
Right, that's not a direct quote. They didn't say it to me, but I've heard that secondhand.
Well, and it's funny that it's really Tom wrote something that we've been talking about for 3 or 4 years now. I think the state of Arkansas said that they was one of the first to say, hey, we're going to let it go 5 years and then we're going to ban them. But, if something's bad for you today, why would you wait 5 years? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So a couple things play into it. For whatever reason, it's popular for the politicians to show that they're tough on China. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be tough on China. And number two, there is a fear of drones in this country for some reason. I don't know if it's they think you're spying. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely people get paranoid about drones.
Yeah.
But yet we're all walking around with these.
Totally.
Which records everything, even if you don't have it on. It's still
you know what's just as bad, Josh? Your car.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Your car reports back to the
camera.
Yeah.
Flat panel TVs, the displays nowadays, everything's smart. It's all coming back. It doesn't make a difference, you know.
Your Samsung TV is listening to you.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah.
Alexa.
Oh, you know what?
all that
5, 10
stuff.
years ago, it was all video games. All the politicians jumped on board. Oh, the ban of video games. It's all video games. Well, the video games are still out there. They're still, you know. So are we? Hopefully, we're going to see the same thing with all the drone regulations. I don't know, you know. But I know Connecticut was pretty bad. We've got a couple of senators up here that are really hardcore on drones, and they're it's terrible.
Yeah.
It is always a boogeyman.
Yes.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, you're right.
Every time. Watch out for the watch out. Watch out for the blacks. Watch out for the Mexicans. It's always something. Now it's drones. Watch out for drones.
Yeah. The you know, I don't know about you guys, but when I have interaction with strangers, with the public, when I'm out with my drone, 99.9% of the time, it is super positive.
Absolutely.
It's people that are just curious and they want to see, and they get a big charge out of what you're doing. And of course, you get all the usual questions, how far and all that.
Include most police officers, Marcus.
I have never had a bad interaction with the police officer with my drones, and I've had them come up to me before, but never in a negative light whatsoever.
My personal view is it's such a small group that they can easily tackle it because they know that the amount of pushback isn't going to be there.
Yeah,
that they can get this through because our quantities don't touch.
We're too small of a constituency.
Right. Yep.
I mean, for most policemen, what are they running? They're running somebody flying a drone once a month or whatever. I mean, how often does law enforcement actually run to somebody flying a drone?
Yeah,
it can't be much.
Not very often. Not in Connecticut, anyways, that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, I live in a resort. I live in a summer resort town, and I don't see anybody flying drones except for me.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I actually live near a college town, and you would think I don't see anything. I am the only one I know of in this area. So.
I've run into a few.
Oregon must be more of a drone town.
They're stealing your drinks.
Raid the fridge, Marcus.
Yeah, she's getting
that.
You got Diet Cokes in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Mrs. Crawford.
You remember Josh, don't you? No. You don't remember Josh?
Dinner.
We had dinner with him.
Yeah.
Very nice to see you.
Josh fought that night.
We caught her there.
Well, you know what's funny, Marcus? You bring up a good point. I mean, if somebody says you don't see a lot, I know I walked in Costco about it's probably been 6 months, but they had these things stacked up to the ceiling. But you know what? The other day you couldn't find a drone in there, so somebody's buying drones, and you really don't see them. But I tell you what, I mean, when I say they had probably 300 or 400 of these things, and
wow.
But these drone companies, including DJI, let alone the Holy Stones and Rucos of the world, need to do a better job of educating people on what you can legally do and not do with a drone. I can totally understand how somebody could. Johnny, you just made a great point. They walk into Costco, they see, wow, this will be cool. I want to do this. They take it home.
Right.
They don't know anything about the FAA. They don't know anything about any rules. They launch it and go flying around, whatever. And I could see how it could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy.
Would it be nice, though, to have to upload your trust or something into the app or into the controller
before you fly?
That you have gone through that at minimum before that thing even launches. I mean, don't let it even spin. I mean, if you want to take off, you have to enter that into that, verify that you hit it, and then after that, go for it.
Well, hey, what's next? You can walk into an RV deal and buy a 46-foot bus and never drove anything longer than your car. You know what I mean?
True, very true.
Well, there's better examples than that. I could walk down to a local sporting goods store and buy some pretty lethal stuff.
Yeah. Well, drones are an easy target, and like Ron said, I think it's just a popular vote right now. So, hey, man, if you talk bad about China right now, where you're very popular,
Yeah.
Everybody likes Made in America. I like Made in America, whatever. But should we wait until the Made in America drones are actually here before we stop the other ones? Like, at least Rick Scott has a 2028. At least Rick Scott knows. At least he's given 2 years for the American drones to show up. Where some of the others aren't even. They think they're going to be here, I guess, in December. Marcus, have something for us? Oh, Marcus,
an
American drone out.
An American-made drone right here. Here's the deal.
I thought that.
And by the way, I know there's a lot of hate for Skydio, and it's probably deserved. However, I still have a lot of fun flying this drone. But even this drone, it was assembled in America. The key word is assembled. But I'll bet you, in fact, I know it's got the NVIDIA Jetson chips in there. Those didn't come from the U.S. They came from Taiwan. And I guarantee you, I'll bet you these motors came from China. All those components, the camera, that I guarantee you those components came from China. Yeah. So yeah, it was assembled here. It's an American drone, but yeah.
Well, Rick Scott's good until 2031 for drone parts coming from China.
Yeah. And Intel Maxell says batteries from China. That's true too.
Yeah.
That said, this drone is a lot of fun.
Saying assembled, like, what does that actually mean too? I mean, does that mean, hey, we got it in, we put it inside of a box?
No, they actually built these, because I've seen their production line when this has been how long ago, Ron? 4 years ago, 5 years ago that this came out?
It was out before it came out the winter of the COVID. It was out right before the COVID.
2020, yeah. I think we ordered in 2019, got them that winter. But at any rate, yeah, they had pictures of their production line where they were putting them together in California. But again, all the components, I don't know. It's something that's going to have to get solved. And to Ron's point, how does that happen in 2 years? We know better than that. I used to work in production. I know how it works. It doesn't happen in 2 years.
When I get my mini V-copter this week not from China, I'm selling all my DJI drones. So
Johnny, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot to ask you. Did you get your email today?
I did. Yeah, I did.
The people who ordered the V-copter mini right away, we got an email today saying it's coming soon, and like the people order first are going to get it first.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought. Marcus, I know, he told the story many times. He saw the original V-copter, and it didn't come out to about 16, 18 months later. But there has been a lot of people doing reviews on them, so I think this drone is built. They showed a whole stack of them. I know that. So I guess I know I was one of the first, so I should have mine about 7 o'clock tonight.
Well, Johnny, you know why I got the red ass over the whole thing. I'm not real happy with those people.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna send you mine.
But you made out. You got them to send you that real good hover drone.
They did, and believe it or not, that's two different departments. So there's two different people at 00 that I deal with, and they actually approached me and asked me to review the mini V-copter, and I had to give them. Man, they had all kinds of security documents I had to sign, bunch of stuff, jump through a bunch of hoops. And then they didn't send me a drone. So, I kept, when they said they would. So I kept pinging back to them, and they just ghosted me. I just didn't hear a word. So I got a hold of my other contact, and she said, well, that's not my department, but let me see. And so finally, the original people got a hold of me, and they said, oh, sorry, we just, we didn't have enough to go around. So, well, here's what I missed out on. I would have ordered one when these two guys did when we were in Florida. Had I known, but I thought I had one on the way. Anyway.
And I was planning on actually doing it, but I was still driving to Florida when the sale went live. And by the time I got in Florida, got unpacked and everything, the very first order of them out and gone already. I was like, well, oh well.
Yeah, Eddie Nunez is saying the same thing, and Eddie was one of the first people to get the hover drone as well, and Eddie did some really good work with that.
I mean, Eddie he can't walk into Best Buy and get that V-copter? What?
I mean, he knows people.
Actually, Eddie went to the hover event in New York City.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. He sure did. Yeah. I think he's got one. I think he's got one myself, but I don't know.
Johnny, he's too busy flying that cyber truck. I mean, he's too busy flying that.
Yeah, he's too busy. Yeah, he's too busy charging up, taking electricity. Yeah. No, but it looks like it's coming out. It looks pretty much on time. I know some people. I know Ron, you're in some of them groups in the forum on Facebook.
Yeah, they get excited.
They were like gonna cancel it. And if if you want to, they didn't make you order the drone, and they did say June, but anyway, it does look like it's in production. It looks like you'll be getting it pretty soon. So
I mean, they had pallets. They had pallets full of them. Whatever
they did, at least they show up. That could have been Photoshop, but hey, it looked good.
Yeah. And Johnny, it may be the only drone we get this year, so we don't want to miss out, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know. I got this in about 3 days, so hey.
Yeah. Hey, I don't see Mike in the chat yet, but before Mike gets there, I want to do our last story besides Mike's story. This is one's a little, Josh, if you see this one probably interests you. You get real technical with the camera stuff. The new DJI Mavic 4 Pro, which you can't get in the US from official channels, has dual gain ISO fusion. But you only see the advantage of it in D-Log M and not the standard D-Log, which goes against everything we've been taught our whole time in drones. The D-Log, it was the flattest color profile, is the one that had the most dynamic range recovery, whatever. But D-Log M is a special form of D-Log that DJI only. They made it, just for their own drones. And you're able to recover more shadows and highlights, and you get about 17 stops at dynamic range. I post a link to the video down below. I forget the guy's name, but he's a real supersized YouTube channel. Has all oodles of subscribers. And he goes into using DaVinci Resolve to measure the steps of dynamic range. And the video is incredible, really, what they're able to do with the Mavic 4 Pro when they shoot in D-Log M. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Josh, check that video out. I got the link in here. It's really technical, but it's just it's funny how, and you have to keep the ISO in auto too. Like don't go in. In fact, that's what they're saying. It goes against all rules. Like everybody's supposed to go full manual and everything, but they're saying no, leave the ISO on auto because this dual ISO fusion is so good that if you change it, it's not going to work the way we want it to work. To get all these steps of dynamic range.
That almost tells me that there's a software trick that they have in there that, it's what's actually handling everything more than the actual hardware. That there's some software in there just making it magically actually work.
Almost some AI type of stuff. And Josh, you've probably heard us in the Air 3S. A lot of people say whatever that stops the dynamic range of the Air 3S is, I forget what the quote is, but they said to achieve that doesn't come in like D-Log M or something. That the best dynamic range comes if you're shooting a normal video on the Air 3S.
Yeah, which again is allowing them to put software in it and make that happen. So it's the TGI magic is actually doing everything. And I mean, a lot of camera companies do that stuff where they implement stuff that as long as you keep it on auto, as long as you don't touch any settings, you'll get the optimized photo or video out of it that they make. And a lot of the times it does actually look great. And then it dissuades some of us that like to do things manually because we don't want to use those options. I want to set it. I want to get it how I like it. And then when I offload it and look at it, I'm like, why does this not look right? Why can't I edit this right? Why is it on auto coming out better than I can, do? And hey, I think that's how it is these days. I think AI and everything is just starting to implement itself in everything, and the days of us manually adjusting things and getting it the way that we actually like it, maybe not coming to an end, but I think our options are going to get smaller to be creative on our own.
The rules are changing, and Bill Grace. Bill Grace has a great video too, and then he's another comment. He says it's the end result that counts, and you're exactly right, Bill.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry I'm talking up a drone we can't get here, but
oh, you can get it. You can get it.
I mean, legal, officially.
Right.
Yeah. So, we talked about this a little bit, and the video has been posted around. I think I posted DroneNation of the guy that got a relative in Canada to get in the Mavic 4 Pro, and they brought it across the border to the U.S. And the first time the guy was flying it, he had the Mavic 4 Pro. He dropped it and broke the gimbal. He contacted DJI. He finally convinced him to take the drone back for repair. So he sent the drone in to DJI. I guess they sent him a label, whatever. So they sent him a replacement drone back. The drone gets stuck in customs in Louisville. He tries to call him. He tries to get DJI to talk to him. Nothing works. He said eventually DJI stopped talking to him because they did everything he can. Now the poor guy, he didn't buy from DJI, so DJI can't give him the money back. He didn't buy from him. And so now he's out the $4,000 he paid for the kit. I guess he still has the controller and batteries of it. And now he doesn't have the drone either. So Mike was going to come on and talk to. I'm going to tell my story for him. He was flying his Air 3S recently at some place in Texas where they have dinosaurs, not real dinosaurs. Like there used to be dinosaurs there, and they have models now. And but they were big. They were like 15 foot. And so at some point he hits a power cord, and it crashes Air 3S. And one of the legs got all messed up, right? So, yeah. So, yeah, right. Dang. Here's the, we keep saying fly what you got, but the real saying should be fly what you got, but be real careful with it. That should be the second part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyhow, he crashes the Air 3S. So he calls DJI, and he starts the ticket. He starts the ticket first, and they say something like, okay, well, we're out of stock. We won't have it back in stock for 90 days or something like that, or whatever. Just hold on to the drone now. But Mike's carry refresh and stuff like that. 1 year warranty's all ticketing. So he finally gets up. I think he hasn't talked to somebody before. He got a hold of him in chat, and he said, well, he's got the carry refresh. They should take care of him. And they said, well, we can't do it because we're out of stock. And then Mike said, well, but if I go into Canada, DJI store, everything's in stock, including the Air 3S or whatever. Yeah. And then they come back, well, it's a tariff. Can't send to you the tariffs. And Mike was saying, well, the tariffs are kind of down now. They're kind of down to kind of what they were before all this started up coming from China. And then the person kept having to go to dog supervisor. Then he finally came back and said, well, it's because of the customs issue. Right. And Mike said, well, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Why'd you give me the runaround or whatever? So, but now you still kind of stuck. They're still not really, going to do anything anymore. So bottom line is we talked today, he's going to actually call somebody because I had a similar issue with the battery. One of my Air 3S batteries just stopped charging. It's not swollen, not leaking. I didn't run it down to zero. It just stopped charging. So I put a ticket in the DJI, and overnight I got an email saying the same thing. Well, we're out of stock, for 90 days or better. Just don't do anything right now. So the next day I actually called, talked to somebody on the phone, and I got put on a whole lot, talked to supervisor a lot, but they sent me a return label, and I was too busy today to do it, but I'm going to send it back tomorrow, and they're going to take a look at the battery, and unlike the guy I talked about earlier, I don't have anything to lose because the batteries doesn't work at all. I've tried everything to recover it that you can say online. I've one of the common ones is put the battery in the drone and charge right in the drone. That didn't work. Nothing works that they said. So if I send this in, I never get anything back. I'm really not out anything but a paperweight here or whatever. Unlike say this guy or whatever, or Mike would be sending in a drone that could be fixed. This is I don't know if they'll be able to fix this, where they're going to send me another one out. But in other words, if you have a problem like Mike and I had, you could put that claim in online, but you probably really won't get any place till you talk to somebody on the phone.
Yep.
Captain Joe, he crashes about a 2, and he did have they were going to send him a replacement and did, but it got held up in customs in Cincinnati, and basically they sent it back to Canada. And basically now from that part, I'm not taking up with DJI, but they did what they tried to send him a drone, and it wasn't their fault. It got stopped at customs. So I mean, I see both sides, I understand, but we're in a tough situation right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Ken's comment echoes. Help me out. Our friend over in what Scandinavian country is he in? He put a video out this weekend. And he said that the main thing is for the people make money with their drones. This is going to take people's livelihoods, jobs, and stuff away. I can't. He's from Scotland. What's our friend from Scotland? He lives in some Scandinavian country. He does the drone light shows.
Stephen Sutton.
Stephen Sutton or whatever put out a video where he kind of ran a this weekend about, this is really hurting the people that are making their money with these drones.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. Good comment, Ken. So,
I mean, it's crazy. Even that. So there's a tariff on even parts too.
I believe so.
DJI can't get anything.
The more important thing is not the tariff. The tariffs doesn't even matter anymore because you can't get stuff because customs stops it. So I don't know. I haven't heard. Has anybody heard a story? Has customs stopped drone parts yet? DJI.
No, I mean I got 4 motors today from MEPS for FPV drone at $9.99 a piece with free shipping. So I don't know.
Thanks, Brain Arrows, Fly Guys. Yeah, Steven Sutton, Fly Guys. So I don't know if they're stopping drone parts yet, but I'm sure they're being tariffed, DeMarco.
Ron, the reason why I said that though, because they, like a drone leg or a camera's cheaper than buying the whole drone.
Right.
A tariff on the whole thing. Maybe something if they're customs issue, it wouldn't matter though. But if they move their what was I going to say? The repair facilities here and doing it though. But if customs not letting the parts in, it doesn't help any.
Yeah, I think I think they get the drones by. They look at the return address on the package. If it says DJI, that's when they pull because the people that are ordering from South Korea, because they're ordering from South Korea, some eBay seller. So nowhere on the outside of the box of the return label says anything about DJI. That's how they get through.
Yeah, because somebody said in the chat they got one today or yesterday or something. A few I saw got one from South Korea. Mavic 4.
Yeah. Because again, there's nowhere on the box return address do they say anything about DJI on them. And our good friend Sammy's worried about FEMI. And right now the customs people, they're only stopping DJI because of the Uyghurs thing or whatever. They're not stopping FEMIs and Potensics and Holy Stones.
It's all over that Uyghur law that Congress passed.
Right. But what about say the December 31st? When the DJI ban takes place, they don't get inspected. Will they ever stop the FEMIs of the world from coming through customs, Marcus?
That Uyghur law has nothing to do with anybody but DJI.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Uyghur. I'm saying the other one. The DJI ban, which sometimes is called the Chinese drone ban.
Well, I don't know if customs would stop them or not, but I do know if they can't get FCC approval for any new drones, you certainly wouldn't get any new products from any of them. Well, maybe you could, but they would be illegal for you to fly. Ron, I honestly don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if DJI stop, but we can still keep getting Chinese drones from the second tier companies.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. It's crazy. It's just every week it seems like it's pushing closer. It's kind of like remote ID. they gave us that date and it started. So hey,
it's slow, but it's
it's coming up. Yes, it's
slow train
actually
coming.
I thought it was like a weird date, like December the 16th or something. I don't know, but hey, yeah, it's marching. It's getting close. I know that.
Blue Pirate 78. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He said he added his to his farmer's insurance policy up to $5,000 if it breaks. So a lot of people are reporting that. What's the insurance company's been insuring drones all along, Johnny? State Farm. State Farm's denying people coverage, but Blue saying it's farmers is insuring. He's got insurance to them. So there are other companies out there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure they are. It's a personal articles policy, so I'm sure that most companies have. The same as you'd put your jewelry or watch. Morgan's got that Rolex right there on. He's got that covered.
I can get a Rolex, face for my Apple Watch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Ken says he'll take remote ID any day over this crap.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no other terms available except those America drones that are coming, Ken. They're right around the corner, right, Johnny?
No.
I don't want Marco, you see any American drones flying around Arkansas? Any alternatives?
No. I mean, like we all wish that was the case though, but I don't see them coming anytime soon. So probably like 2030. No. 2028.
And at the low price of about 20, the low price of $3,000 for a mini drone,
Yeah, I've got my State Farm policy on 2 of my drones. I have to renew it next week, as a matter of fact. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. I'm sure it's going to be a problem.
Wow. You think so, John? I mean, is that? You think it's because of this, or you just think that they might not be starting to cover them?
Yeah, I just don't think because they're starting to cover them. I've heard it from a couple of guys now. I did have that 3T, so I got to take that off because I don't have that one anymore. But I got to put the 4T on there, so I got to figure it out if they're going to actually give me coverage.
Well, you know what's funny about that's always been. I mean, I hate to say, you crashed a drone and they would pay you for basically the whole fly mold kit, which you still had the controller, you still had all the batteries, but it seems like because when you have a hurricane down here, they want to replace like 1/8 or your hip part of your roof.
Wow.
So but they'll write you a whole check for a drone that you really all you need is a drone itself. So.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's a good investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys know how I do. It's like I said, it's got to be. I think it's beginning of next week. I can get in there and do it. So we'll see what happens. Who knows?
Right. Yeah. I gotcha.
All right, I think we covered most of the stories here. Anybody want to bring up anything else we haven't mentioned tonight? As far, John, I'm glad you helped me with the, bring up the little mini, the mini drone. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was so shocked when I saw the email this morning.
Yeah, because we ordered those. It was at the South Florida meetup. I think
I'm going to say around the 1st of April, something like that.
Well, we were actually at the meetup. Yeah, we went back to the hotel to order, I believe, actually, yeah.
Hey, the other thing is fly what you got. I got out like my old, it's about 3.5 years old, an Autel Nano Plus. I just had a blast flying that drone the other day. So, we got some good stuff. Let's just focus on, flying what we got and have fun, and hopefully this all works out.
There you go. There's our positive, upbeat comment for the day.
That's it.
Positivity.
Yep.
Hey,
the other thing is we got no choice, do we?
Yeah. You got to ride it out.
Ron, I do want to say Al Socharon was also in a hospital. He's home doing good. He had a little bout.
Yeah.
I
saw Al at Fort Pierce.
I was in the hospital too, Ron.
Yeah.
You didn't give me any sympathy.
Maybe
I was in there all day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get a group rate or something.
I thought the last time you said anything, you said keep that on a down low. So I didn't know it was on the upload now.
Yeah.
But you're doing good, Marcus?
Doing well. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, look at all those good friends he's got around him. He's doing good.
Handsome.
We love you too, Marcus. No, it's so fast forward. Will we be able to get a drone, another DJI drone? I mean, or are we done here? Or what do you think? I mean, I know we done hashed this over 50 times.
Who knows, Johnny? Nobody
yeah.
knows. Anybody that tells you they think they know, they're wrong. Nobody knows.
I agree with you now, Marcus. I mean, we might have would have argued a while back, but hey, you know, it looks like there's a Mini 5. Looks like there's another Neo coming. So I don't know. It's crazy. Will they let
I'm excited about that Mini 5, Johnny. That's one that I might order from Korea or go up to visit my friend Lauren up in Calgary and go pick one up.
Yeah,
Yep.
And we've already confirmed that that's got FCC approval, so we're good. But
Yeah.
after
Illegal,
that, I don't
right.
know. I don't know if anything after that has FCC approval. And of course,
Right.
that's what's going to happen at the end of December if the DJI drones don't get inspected, they won't get FCC approval anymore. So even if you brought them in from another country, they wouldn't have the signal. Is that correct, Marcus? They wouldn't have the signal to fly on or channel.
Well, you could it'd work, but you'd be illegal flying it. So
Yeah, you'd be broadcasting illegal broadcast signal.
right.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of the people in shortwave radio can tell you for a while, China was selling some crazy walkie-talkies here that had like 30-mile range, and I mean some ridiculous things like that. They were illegal. So people bought them and they used them, but they were illegal.
Yeah.
How many cops are busting people for illegal walkie-talkies? Somebody asked the question chat, and Ken's confirming her Spectre drone is dead. That was Randall Warren's company.
Right.
Basically, he was rebadging DJI drones that were made in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, he's saying
Oh,
they're dead.
I know, yeah, that and the Spectre, yeah, Ken said, but yeah, so both of those, I guess so. Which we always thought that was kind of funny because it seemed like it would be a whole lot harder than, you know, just saying a drone was built somewhere else. So I don't know. It's but yeah, we're in the middle of it right now. I can tell you that.
You know, I've heard you know, we keep hearing rumors that something's going to happen in August. Like somebody was saying that the RC2 Pro will be available in August. And some people say this is going to be clear up in August. I don't know why they say that, but they keep seeing that rumor over and over that this is all going to be over in August, or somehow it's going to be figured out in August. But I don't know where that comes from. That could just be total. Josh, you got something on August?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the future state look no further than what runaround you get when you have to send something back or you need something fixed. They don't even know. They don't give you an actual straight answer. So, you know, either they know something that they're not willing to say out loud, or they don't have a clue either. So I think, you know, moving forward, nobody knows. I don't think anybody actually has a clue what's happening.
Well, so Josh, you're absolutely right. Johnny just talked to his lawmakers. They had no clue about drones. They had no idea what they did, who was using them, why they were using them. It was just fear that somebody was going to fly one over some kind of critical infrastructure. So it's
and I see John Flynn makes a great. You know, can they get a fair evaluation? Well, you know, if you're going to get evaluated by the people who want to ban you, I mean, what kind of evaluation you think you're going to get?
Wasn't it supposed to be done by a third
right?
I mean, really, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's that's pretty scary. So,
well, and the thing is, third-party companies already recently given DJI the security check, so we already know if the government did one, we already know what the results would be.
It ain't about that, is it, Ron? At the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about.
So what if they just kick it down the road and give it another year? So what would happen then? I mean, would they
or if Trump would give them the TikTok thing where he keeps bumping back for 3 months?
Yeah. No, Johnny. No, so Johnny brought something up. Okay, you're right, Johnny. So what if they did kick it down the road another year? Well, okay, DJI could still get FCC approval on new products.
Yeah.
However, they still can't get them in the country because of that Uyghur. I wish I could remember the name of the law, but that's why Customs is stopping those drones from coming in. That wouldn't change until somebody does something about that.
Yeah,
we're not going to get new DJI drones.
True. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
And the Customs guys are just tightening up, like Mike was saying. I thought Mike, he was saying he told people friends had got replacements from Canada for their care refresh replaces, but things are tightening down almost every week or whatever at Customs. They're letting less and less stuff through. Even at ports that were leaving it. Johnny, you should test it in Louisiana. You used to have your Customs guy was one of the most easygoing guys, right? He let anything through.
Johnny's Customs guy. Yeah.
I got Al Search Your Own's Air 3S in like just a couple of days,
Yeah. Drone Camps RC. We got Drone Camps RC in here. And Drone Camps RC has been doing a great job covering his whole mess over in his channel. I think DJI will be banned by December. So again, I forget his first name. He's a good guy. He's out there in Oregon. He's a big channel, and he's been covering his whole time.
I think anyway.
Now, correct me though if I'm wrong. You could still get the action cams. Those don't seem to be extremely hard to find. And I mean, don't they record data, log everything?
Actually, last time I checked, Josh, the Action 5 Pro was unavailable.
Yeah, you couldn't. It said out of stock. Yeah.
You know what was available, Josh? A lot of high-end like gimbals and Rowan stuff, whatever. The real expensive, almost professional photo gear still seem to be available. Probably because it's already in the U.S. in a warehouse. That stuff probably moves so slow because of the high price.
Yeah.
What about the vacuum cleaner? Can you get the vacuum cleaner?
Ooh.
No, that's a good question.
I want that.
Will the vacuum cleaner be able to get through the customs?
I don't know.
It's got a camera on it, probably.
Well, it has to because it will map out every inch of your house. So it's going to know the interior. So isn't that almost worse than a drone?
And Josh, what if that thing escaped your house and started mapping some critical infrastructure?
Yeah.
And I mean, who's to say? I'm sure it probably has a microphone in it, so it's going to hear everything that's going on. It's going to be linked to your phone, so it's going to have access to everything on your phone. And most people hit okay on that stuff. So
Hey, Josh, where's your router built in your house?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure not anywhere over here.
It's China, and that's my point. So we can all. There's all those things, and they're not a problem. So clearly, it's somebody doesn't like DJI.
Look what Ken says. Order from Korea and call it a day.
He put that on there when we were talking about the Mini 5. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ron, I need to get rolling here.
All right. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground tonight. We did a lot of griping about DJI bands and whatever. Like this is like I should call this Band Nation now, whatever. That's all we're talking about anymore. But I'm glad you guys had a successful launch of your new show tonight. I'm sure you're going to build, viewers and stuff and following. Just keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing. Make changes you have to. But I like your format. I like tech and drones and whatever. Camera gear. I like that format and whatever. I think it's the kind of show I'd watch. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I would.
Great. Thank you, guys.
And again, make sure you post those shows Monday to DroneNation. I'll get them pinned to the top. So
yeah. Put them on a Fly for Fun page. Yeah. Absolutely.
And Johnny, do you have a Fly for Fun coming up this Wednesday?
We do, yeah. We got Wednesday night. We're just going to show some videos of, say, fireworks and 4th of July celebrations. So, yeah, if you got something, send me some and we'll.
When is the fireworks in Hammond this year?
It is the 4th of July night, Friday night.
Yeah, ours at Margate is Friday, but like I think Lansing's the next day. Like the towns around it, they're all different days.
Yeah, some of them do it the night before. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You guys have a big fireworks display up in Connecticut, John?
Yeah, absolutely. We got quite a few of them. As a matter of fact, they're mapped out for each town, and they put it out there quite often. But there's a lot of private fireworks shows that are right on the shoreline, right over the water, and it's pretty wild.
What about light shows? Drone light shows, yeah.
And of course, John, Josh, and I all live in the original 13. So we celebrate harder than anybody, right? Because we were around in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do.
So,
All right,
good night. Thanks for the support in the
Marcus.
chat. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a great week, and we'll see you back here Monday. But don't forget, at 6 o'clock, tune in to what's your show called, guys?
The Drone Rogues.
The Drone Rogues. Tune in to Drone Rogues before you tune in to DroneNation later. So good night, and don't forget Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Johnny.
Yep, 7 Eastern. Yep,
7.
7 Eastern. Good night.
All right, good night, everybody.
One, and we're up.
Say
Hit it,
it.
DeMarco.